are you getting married? Do you know someone that is? Are you wondering if you and your partner are ready to take that next step in your life, in your relationship? Do you want to strengthen the foundation of your relationship moving into marriage? If you do, Day One, the premarital program is here to help you. So if you want to kind of learn those tips, those tools, those strategies to prepare yourself for that next chapter in your life and your relationship, then give Day One, the premarital program, a try. So within this program, you are going to get those tips, those tools, those strategies. You're also going to get that guidance to help you prepare as much as possible for that next chapter. The thing about preparing for that next chapter is that there's no way to be 100% ready for the next step in your life, but you do want to be as prepared as possible before you get there. So that's where the Day One premarital program comes into play. So if you're ready to prepare and start really growing towards that next chapter in your life, in your relationship, give Day One, the premarital program, a try. Click the link below and get started today. That's the Day One premarital program, and let's get started today. All right, welcome to another episode of Adding Perspective with Josh. I'm Josh.
I'm Coach Nrgy.
I'm Aphrodite.
All right, so this week we're going to talk about, does a woman need a man? And if I really think about that topic, does a woman need a man? I want to say yes. Women do need men, yes. But on the second hand swing of that, I think that some women, not all women, some women portray like they have a hard portrayal, like they have like some serious acting skills, like they do not need a man. Like they are really independent and can just totally focus without a man. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I'm not saying that at all. It's just when you do have a man, and then when a person kind of portrays that it's not a masculinity thing, but it's more of a bravado thing, like that type of strength. To me, it could be a little bit demasculating, just a little bit. If you have a person like that, it could be a little bit, but not in all cases. Let me put that disclaimer in there. Not in all cases could it look like that. Go ahead, Aphrodite. I see your face. What you got?
I think I'm trying to grasp.
You did what now?
I'm just trying to grasp where you're going. Go ahead and finish.
No, that I was done with my starter statement and stuff like that. Because I'm really curious to hear you guys' perspective on do women need men, right? Like is that a thing that you guys need? Yes, no, maybe, sometimes. Like what do you guys thought?
Want to go first?
You got it.
So I have mixed views on this subject. There was a time I found me a man. But it's not. And then there was a time it's just like I want to. When you start speaking about women needing men, sometimes what I'm running into is that they're mistaken a woman, I don't know if it's a strength or what she had to go through to make sure she was good which would be displayed as masculine. But when you've been placed in a place where you had to be head of the household, you had to handle the kids, you had to work 3 jobs. Like when you've been in that place, it's not that I don't need a man. It's not that a person don't need a man. You don't need to be able to come with the immaturity of a man. If that makes, oh, I can't hear you over here. Still,
What? What are you? What?
you can hear me?
Yeah, but you just said you can't hear me.
Okay.
I wasn't talking. I'm so confused.
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not even so I don't think it's that a woman don't need a man. I think a man need to understand where that woman has been, where she's come from, and how far she's strived to get where she's going. And to understand that it's not, if you're the right type, I feel like if you're the right type of man, you, whatever that masculinity or that strongness or whatever that you think you see, it will humble itself because you would know how to handle, you would know how to approach that particular woman. That's my thing. Does a woman, some women might really believe they don't need a man. I'm not saying that they don't believe it. You know what I'm saying? But I think you do. You know, I do think that you think that this mate, you need to know, that man needs to know what kind of a woman he's dealing with. When it comes down to what they will consider an independent woman. And I'm not going to be an independent word, I'm just going to be truthful. It's an independent word. There's another word I think independent. It's really crazy. Can you hear me, Andrew? No, she can't hear me.
Is it just me?
What do you mean?
Because I was hearing everything and then you slowly faded out. Or can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So what now?
No, they can't.
No, I'm not sure what was going on over there. But we'll let you work on that a little bit. Nrgy, what's your perspective on that? Do women need a man?
So I think, and I was following along with Aphrodite. I would say that it really depends on the specific situation or scenario that you may be talking about. Because I personally don't like to make universal statements of saying all women need men, but I'm not also saying no, women don't need men. Because in some cases, I believe that absolutely, yes, women do need a man. So with your question for today's topic, like, are we coming from a standpoint of, do women need men in order to make it out here, or in order to become successful, or, you know, to be whatever, you know, whomever they want to be or become? Not necessarily, you know, because women, we do have our own identity, we have our own strengths, we have our own skills and traits, to where even if there is an absence of a man, it's not going to just stop us from continuing to live life. It's not going to stop our growth. It's not going to stop our successes, whatever that may be. Such as, I mean, one of the most obvious examples would be a woman getting to a certain level financially. Does she need a man for that? No, not necessarily. But then if we talk about, does a woman need a man in order to become pregnant and give birth? Prior to technology these days, we would say yes, the woman needed a man. But with all these crazy advances out here, I don't know of all the scientific stuff that's going on, artificial stuff that's going on. So I'm gonna be careful when I answer it in this way. But generally speaking, and from the traditional method, would a woman need a man to get pregnant and have, be able to give birth to a child? Yes. So in some cases, yes, women need men. And in some cases, no, women don't need men. But I'm going to wrap all of that up by also saying that without men, we really, as a world, as human beings, we really wouldn't be where we are today, because men give us life. They give us the seed. So we both need each other. That's just the way that I've always looked at it. We both need each other to some degree. We both need each other to play our parts in whatever the situation is in the moment.
You summed it up very well.
Okay, good.
You did. Because at first you was over here a little bit, and then you was over here a little bit, and then you came in the middle, right? Like
I've got to give all perspectives, right?
Brought it all together. That's what I'm talking about right there. Expect nothing less, okay? But that's the thing about that whole idea of do women need men? Why do you think that it gets to that point where it may feel like women don't need men, right? Like why do you think that people get to that point where it feels like that?
Because there are a lot of situations where, unfortunately, women are quote unquote forced into playing the role of filling the shoes of a male. And so once said woman does that for a while and then becomes successful at it, then that's when it starts to put that idea, that perspective out there. Well, dang, if I can do it by myself, then I did not need, a man or a male to do this or that.
Yeah, there's a lot of extra emphasis on that too, by the way. I just need you to know that.
My bad.
There's a lot of that, especially the beginning. Like, okay, there's a lot of extra emphasis on that, right? Like, I was like, who you talking to? Like, somebody out there, like, somebody out there who's watching this. I know you talking to that person out there, like, I'm talking to you out there. Like,
No, because look, I've never been one of those. Let me say this for the record. I've never been one of those women that says, oh, I don't need no man. I don't need you. No, yes, I do. Yes, I do. I am waiting for my man, the right one for me to come along. I do not put that type of energy out there, but it happens. It happens. I'm in a lot of conversations, a part of a lot of exchanging of these types of talks where it's like, man, it's unfortunate to just see and hear how men and women feel that they don't need each other. And it's unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, I rarely hear men talk about, hey, I don't need no woman. I rarely hear men talking about that. Okay, like, yeah, most time it's men talking about, hey, I need to find me a good woman, or I need to find me someone, something like that. But no, yeah, that's few and far between, right? And I think that ratio is maybe a little skewed right there, right?
It may not be 50-50, but there is a big percentage. It's not as small or as little as I would say that you're thinking, because there are a lot of men who are out here and who are just against women. They don't feel that women are needed. Unfortunately.
I'm trying to figure out in what way do they feel like women ain't needed though? Like, because there's a lot of different
It's
A lot of
there.
different attributes, a lot of different components
Yeah, I know.
that women are very much so need. Like
I know. But so you got to understand the mindset those men are speaking from. They're speaking from a place of hurt. They're speaking from a place of having been done wrong by women in their life, having been rejected often times and over again. So to them, they have created an idea that women are not necessary, women are not needed, and then they dwindle or diminish the woman to just, in some cases, just an object to get pleasure, to be to give pleasure, and then other times it's just not even respected as a human being in general. Period. There are men who absolutely hate the fact that women are present.
This, so you mean present in general? Present
in general.
Huh. That's interesting thought. Like it is.
Yep. It's scary to hear how they truly just wish the female species could be wiped away.
I haven't came across those people.
I haven't heard of that.
Me either. I just have not came across those types of individuals. Most of the individuals I come across is they
probably good that I haven't, but how did they get here?
I mean,
it's totally irrational. Yes, but at the end of the day, I can understand what they're saying. I don't agree with it, but I do understand as I hear them talk about it and describe it. They're just hurt. They're hurt by the mom. They're hurt by their babysitter. They're hurt by their auntie or grandma. They're hurt by their first love. They're hurt by other women that they've attempted to try to. It's all rooted in hurt and pain and rejection.
That is interesting. I'm trying to see how do I guess people get to that point, especially if you're in a relationship where, because this is one thing to operate like that when you're not in a relationship, but it's a different thing to operate like that when you're in a relationship where you make a person feel like you don't need them, you know, like they're not needed.
So it's not guys that are in relationships; these are singles.
What do you mean that they're singles?
They're not dating a woman. They're not in a relationship with a woman.
No, I wasn't talking about that particular situation. I was segueing past that, because if we stay on that particular topic, we're gonna probably stay on that one all night. Because I mean, I was already scratching my head to begin with. I was trying to figure out like that whole scenario there. So I was just talking about in general when you have a general relationship and one person or the other person makes the person feel like they're not needed, right? Like they're not adding any value to that particular relationship. And I think that type of scenario happens a lot more often than not in some cases. And do you think that is something that was okay? Let's go back to that scenario that you just said earlier when you were talking about if a woman is like a single mom, she had to pretty much do all these things by herself for a number of years, and then subsequently she ends up meeting someone, right? And then ends up being in a relationship with that person, but she still operates like she got to do it all. She got to do all these things. And to me, I think that could potentially make a person feel like they're not needed, like that they not valued. But that's just my thought, though, right? Like, I'm not sure if that was a statement or a question, but it may have been both. Okay? Like, it may have been both, right?
Oh my
God! I mean, or maybe it's an observation. Let's put it like that. Maybe it's just an interesting observation.
But I agree. Yes. That definitely happens, and it's unfortunate. It definitely is unfortunate, because it's like, if then was that person, was that woman ready to be in a relationship at that point? If you're still going to operate as a single person.
I mean, isn't that kind of hard to determine though? Because it's like, I don't think it's a thing of readiness, because if a person has been operating on their own for that long, they already have I guess a mature mentality. You know what I'm saying? Like, they very put together, they very sure of themselves. They know what they need in their life, because, obviously if they have a child or something, they, typically you're responsible for that particular person. So you know what you're going to allow in your life and what you're not going to allow in your life. So, but when you get to that other side of that, when you're finally with somebody, then I think that sometimes it's hard to let down that particular guard and trust someone else to take the lead. That's what I think, right? Trust
and that's where the readiness is. That's what I was saying, then maybe that person wasn't ready. It's just like, that situation is just like any other situation. If a single person, let's just say someone who was a habitual cheater, a person they have to go through the work. They have to go through the mental changes, turning certain things on, turning certain things off, in order to now start living, instead of as a single individual, now as a person who has to consider another being, another person's perspective, another person's choices. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there is a way of getting ready. There is a way of determining if the time now is right.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure you was gonna roll out the 5-point, 6-point plan, right? Because I mean, I thought that was the build up, right? Like, you was gonna go boo, 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 like,
kind of, but I'm trying not to overtalk the conversation right now.
Oh, you locked in.
No, okay, you confused me a little bit when you were like, I don't think that there's a way for a person to determine if they're ready. That's what coaching is about. What are you talking about? Hey. Coaches help people get ready for that next phase of their life. So if in this conversation we're talking relationships or marriages, say, for this example, we help people. You literally help people determine if they are, to see if they're ready to no longer live as a single.
You putting a lot on that. You putting a lot on that. Okay, you putting a lot on that. Okay, like, coaches, therapists, counselors can only do so much. I'm just want you to know that,
and that's true, because
no, I'm not saying that they're going to give everyone the answer to guarantee that they will be ready.
Yeah,
we are even here as coaches to help people go through the process, because there is a process of determining if a person is ready or not for whatever this next level in their life is, both professionally and personally. It's not a guarantee. So I was just referring to a statement that you made a few minutes ago, saying, I don't think that there's a way to determine if a person is ready or not. That's growth. That's development. That's what you test it out. That's what dating is about. You date to see if you're ready. You're learning yourself as a single individual to then see if, okay, am I ready to be in a relationship? Am I ready to be married? Am I ready to be a parent? Am I ready to be a business owner? I was just speaking on the fact that there is a way to see if, or to help a person get ready for that next phase or relationship, from singleness to whatever.
Okay.
That's literally what I'm surprised to hear you say that. I'm sorry. That's what we're for.
I mean, honestly, it's a guideline thing. Like, yeah. It's like laying out particular guidelines for a person to follow from A to B to A to Z or whatever, and a person choosing to just do the work. Like, that's all it is. Because essentially, you can't make a person do the work to be prepared for whatever life kind of throws at you. Like, you really can't. I just think that when it comes to being prepared for a exclusive relationship, such as like, and again, based on that principle that we're talking about, if you've been operating so long within yourself for that long, it's essentially in your DNA at that point. Like that's who you had to become in order to survive, basically. So even if, for instance, I'm not saying that it wouldn't change, but even if you do go through coaching, counseling, therapy, or whatever, that could be 2 months, it could be 9 months, it could be a year, 3 years before that type of thing actually changes to where you can actually be open to a new person or something like that. And that's not saying that that's a bad thing. It's just the fact that if a person operates like that, their communication has to be spot on. Like, I mean, effective, like all the way through. Because if you know for a fact that you are very independent or very sure of yourself and very straightforward and stuff like that, it's okay to be that way. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But you personally have to know for a fact that you're that way. Like, you have to know that about yourself, that you're that way. And then you also have to know how that is portrayed, like how that looks, like how that comes off, especially if you're in a relationship, because some guys don't know how to deal with that. Like, they don't know how to navigate something like that because, again, some people might not be used to it. Like, they might not be used to operating with somebody like that. And the last thing that you want to do is unintentionally turn somebody off. Like, you don't want to do that. That's my thing.
But I'm not being funny. Let me back this thing up. First of all, when a person operates like that and it is embedded in them, that's not to say they're not ready though. So they are ready. It's just that sometimes it's routinely embedded in them. So it's not always a flick of a switch that, oh my gosh, I know I'm in a relationship. I know I'm sharing myself with, I'm sharing my space, or we sharing space together, whatever. But some things are like automatic without thinking. It's not intentional. So the person that you're dealing with has to have some type of understanding as well. That if I've been operating like this for the last 15, 20 years, don't always take what I'm doing so personal, but you can have a conversation and we can communicate about it, because it's not always on the forefront that you have thought about what you have done, because it's an automatic thing. So even speaking from that's supposed to be independent woman type of conversation, it's a whole new conversation when she has been doing things, raising the kids, paying the bills, this and this and this. But she been doing that for how long? Then he comes along. I'm not saying that he's not helping, because I'm sure he is. But we're gonna take an example of, she might get a flat tire and get out and change the tire and then think about having a conversation with him about it, right? Then it might come in a conversation and she'll be like, oh, I had a flat tire the other day and I just changed the tire. And he might feel some type of way, but she haven't even thought about it, because that's her automatic response. It's nothing, it's not personal. But if he felt some type of way, then let's have a conversation about it so she can explain what happened. She didn't think about it. She just responded. So it's not that she's not ready. It's just some things are automatic responses. She go into what some people would consider like a fight and flight mode. Like, I got to handle this really fast, or this or this and this one happen, because she's trying to keep other things from spiraling out of control. So it's nothing personal.
Yeah. So to prevent a person feeling that way, what should a person do? I just say, like, what should a person do, right? So if a person happens to be in a relationship, right? How do you prevent the other person from feeling like they're not needed or they're not useful? How do you prevent that?
So, I mean, it's communication for one thing. Know who you're dealing with. You know, when you're dealing with that type of person, then you should know what comes with that particular person. There's a possibility they might have some slip-ups and just start handling stuff because it's automatic. But don't automatically think, oh, she'll need me because she just handled that by herself. No, have a conversation. So it can be explained, like, I'm speaking from experience. So let me explain it first before you just automatically jump off the roof and be like, oh, you don't need me. It's not that. It was just an automatic response. Maybe I need to check myself a little bit more, think about things a little bit greater or whatever. But when it's an automatic response and you've been in that situation for so long, you're gonna respond like that for real.
Yeah. I don't see that. My thing is everything can be an automatic response. Not everything. I would say something.
No, not saying everything. I'm not saying everything everything has to be an automatic response. That's not what I'm saying. But certain things is like, you have to learn patience. Mm-hmm. And she probably had to learn patience, because she might used to get her stuff done within 2 days. He might procrastinate for 3-4 weeks. That can aggravate her and she might just automatically do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need my stuff done in 2 days. So they would have to have a conversation about what everything looks like for the both of them. Because that would aggravate him. Like, you asked me to do it, then you turn around and did it. And she looking like, well, I asked you to do it, but you took 3-4 weeks to get it done. So she felt like she had to just step up to the plate and get it done.
Yeah. But let me give you a little note here though. So if a person operates like that in one aspect of their life, they operate like that in all aspects of their life. So let me tell you, right? So if you happen to be that independent, strong-willed person, you know what you like, know what you don't like, you operate like that in the bedroom too. I need you to know that, right? You operate like that too. So that means, right? You can make a person feel like that there too. I need you to know that. You can make a person feel like that. Like they're not needed. Okay. Because when a person has more other objects, then they spend more time with them things than they may spend with, that person or whatever, right? Just saying, may make a person feel like that.
I can see that. I don't disagree with that.
That's y'all.
Called a conversation though.
So y'all fellas. Y'all.
It's called a conversation.
I'm gonna say it's not all. It's not all. Because you do have some women who could be labeled as independent, who would love the opportunity to take off that guard, off that layer when a man is now in their lives and in position. So she may be independent in some areas, but let's talk about the bedroom. She may want to be totally submissive. Yeah. So I'm just saying that it's not an all thing. You do have differences out there. It really just depends on the individual person and how ingrained the level of independence is within them, and if they are ready mentally, if they are ready emotionally to not continue an independent type of lifestyle when a man has positioned himself in her life properly.
Woo! Speak that thing into tell it. That's a whole sermon.
I'm so mad at y'all. No, seriously, there are women who detest being independent, but they're independent because in this moment, in this phase of their life, they have to be. They have to be, but they are waiting for that man to come along and take over that role so that she can then become that gentle, caring, loving, vulnerable, dainty female.
The right man will understand it. The right man will understand, and she will humble to that. Yes. Understand that. She will humble to the right man.
Grace has to be given to both people.
Both people.
Especially at the beginning, because they've been living as individual, separate people. When they come together, if grace, time, patience, love, understanding, if all of that is being shared, they'll be all right. That independence will shrink.
Will come down. Trust me, it will. The right person, she'll bring it down 100 notches.
Oh, I believe. I'm saying is communicate some more. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep. So with that being said, a great way to end this episode.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, all right.
Yeah. This has been another episode of Added Respect with Josh. I'm Josh.
Hey, if the right man comes along and he postures himself to the right woman, that independent cloak will fall to the ground. I'm Coach Nrgy.
And I'm Aphrodite. We out.
You